Yes, sir. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. Thank you. It was wanted to ask you to start about game planning for this rivalry game and just about what goes into it. Do you spend more time coming up with a game plan for this game, or is it more like going with the base? Working off the base, or can you talk about a little bit about that? What goes into the game plan for this rivalry game?
Sure. I think, anytime you go into a game like this with people that know you really well, obviously there's things that you want to try to do that maybe go against your tendencies or things like that, because they do know you very well, and they, do a good job of defending, us. So there's things you want to try to, maybe tweak a little bit, but at the same time, you can't get too far away from, what you've done well. You can't reinvent the wheel in 2 weeks. And so I think there's got to be a balance between maybe, okay, this is something that incorporates a scheme that we, have blocked well, but maybe a little bit different presentation to them or something like that. Or maybe this is something that we haven't shown that is a complement to something that we've done a lot. And so I think it's a balance. You can't just wholesale change and ask your guys to do things that they haven't done all year. I don't think that's the way to go for sure. But you have to kind of take into account that, we got to be a little bit different in this game.
Yeah, and so the last couple of years, Coach Newberry's been, devising a defense against you guys, and to have that continuity for you. You've been at Army for a while, and now he's put out a defense against. I know they change sometimes. What you see on film is not what you're going to get during the game sometimes, but just does it have a conference or feel where you're scheming against the same person every year, and then therefore kind of some of their tendencies? That can that help you out in any way? Or?
Yeah, I think that there's things that you look at and you say, well, they've done a good job defending us with this package or that package. And so that's something they're going to stay with. And maybe this is something that they didn't do as good a job in, with those calls. And so maybe you think maybe that I'm going to work on that a little bit less. But no, they've done a excellent job. We got a lot of respect for them as defensive staff, and it's going to be a great challenge.
What do you see on film? Their run defense has been really good this year. What do you see on film on how they're getting it done?
Gap sound. They play with outstanding effort. They've got all the gaps filled. They stay in their gap. They don't stay blocked. They get to the same look from a lot of different ways, a lot of different presentations. It looks like all of it looks different, ends up being the same on the snap or after the snap. Their guys move around a lot. They're very good at disguise and stemming and things like that kind of confuse people and then move late. And there's a lot of movement just in general, different patterns and things that you've got to get blocked up. But to them, I think it stays pretty simple, so they're able to play fast. So, they do a really good job of taking calculated risks and putting pressure on you to keep people out of the end zone. And so we'll have to make sure that we have our eyes in the right spot, and it's just going to be an execution game.
Yeah, the last time you guys took the field, you had Tyson lining up at slot back for a lot of the plays, and now you're now you're in the rivalry game where running the football with the fullback is always important in these games. Was that just due to injuries, or do you see him bouncing around a little bit in this game, or how you see him teaming up with Jacoby and the rest of the fullbacks?
Yeah, well, that's something we'd planned to do all along. Even in preseason camp, he played there some, and then he was injured for a while, and then so we didn't do that for a while because he wasn't practicing a whole lot, so we couldn't, we didn't have the repetitions for him to work two positions. He didn't practice very much for probably 4 to 6 weeks, and he would play on Saturdays, and he was just gutting it out. But it was hard. You can't ask a guy to play two positions and not get to practice. So, and then there became a need for it when we got some guys injured at slot, and we were down 3 guys at one time, and then we had a fourth get hurt. So I thought he did a really good job for a first game. I mean, he practiced at slot for 3 days and then started against a 3-3 stack defense, which was there's some nuances in it. And I thought he did a really good job for us in that game. And he's a very versatile guy, extremely smart football player. And, you can move him around and it doesn't, cause him to play slow. So been really impressed with that.
I guess against UMass, Markel Johnson, Hayden Reed were cycling in there along with Jarrell Dixon. Is it important in a game like this to keep the fullbacks fresh a little bit? And do you anticipate the younger fullbacks getting on the field?
I think it's important in any game to keep those guys fresh. And that's kind of been, the way we've run things here. We had 5 play in one season and rotate in every game. We had 5 rotate in, and we hadn't had 5 this year. But really excited about Markel and Hayden. And both those guys have done some really good things. I think, Hayden is a versatile guy as well. Markel's a guy that, played slot back and we moved over and he's really made some nice runs. He's got really good feet. He falls forward. He's got great balance, vision. So, he's a guy we're excited about going forward and great to add those 2 guys into the mix.
Yeah, Coach mentioned Ijan getting back on the practice field. How's he looking, and what can he bring to this game if he can play?
Yeah, I mean, looks good. Excited about getting him back. Hated for him to miss a game, but he looks good. He's a guy. I think he's a versatile guy. He's made some plays in the passing game. Very comfortable, throwing the ball. And then he's made some nice runs, catching the pitch and running some counter stuff as well. So just glad that he's back, and I think he gives us a versatile element.
Yeah, this one last one. I saw you post a picture of having the seniors over your house maybe last night for a dinner, and just what does this senior class mean to you, and what would it mean to send them off with a victory on Saturday?
It'd mean everything. I think every year when you have a class of guys graduate, you lose a little bit of yourself as a coach, and those guys, things haven't always gone as we've planned this year. Certainly would have liked to have won every game. We haven't. And so there's been adversity, but you learn from those guys and about the way they continue to come back and work and the way they persevere, the way they support each other, the way they take accountability and ownership of our offense and holding each other accountable on a daily basis. And just personally, I've seen those guys grow so much, and all of them have had adversity here, all of them. And whether it's surgeries or, things with the academy pushing through or anything, family, they've all had adversity while they've been here, and to see them grow through that and come on the other side, and the leadership skills and we didn't win a championship this year, but their leadership and their legacy is going to manifest itself in championships to come after this year. I know that because the type of people they are and the type of precedents they've set with the way they handle themselves and the way they work, it's going to be passed off into those teammates they leave behind. And I really believe that it's a special group, and it's something that, my wife and I do every year, have the senior class over. It just so happened that we try to do it, before the last game. And so it's always a special night to be able to do that. And that's a fantastic group of guys, man.
I appreciate your time, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sal. Appreciate you.
Yeah.